Hello everyone, I have something a little different for you today. I mean, it's still fountain pen ink related or fountain pen related, journaling related, but just something different. I know my channel's been full of diamond ink vents because that is the most exciting thing in my life right now when it comes to the creative world. But I was on Wonder Pens, actually no, first off, I was on the interwebs on YouTube, on the YouTube interwebs, just watching, you know, people's videos and just like learning things. And anyways, I can't remember where I came across this. It must have been, oh, I think it was in, you know what, I honestly can't even remember. I think it was a guy that reviews journal books. I'll have to get back to you on that because I don't remember. So I'll have to look at my history to see where I actually caught wind of this book. But anyways, I came across this journaling ink archiving book. And so since I'm acquiring a plethora of fountain inks, thankfully they're little bottles, so they're all manageable. I feel like I'll use them. I know that the samples that I've been sent that I have, I've sort of already used through some of them. And so I don't foresee it being an issue, you know, having a ton of bottles and stuff. And even if it is, you know, it's fine. Anyway, so I have been in swatch land. So I started off when I was doing swatches, just kind of haphazardly swatching on papers and stuff. And, you know, there's like a finesse to it. Like when I watch some people's videos, I'm like, okay, they have some organization around this. And so I started doing my diamond when I was starting to do something like this. Just kind of like be able to see it all at a glance. And I do have a logbook that I created using a Midori book. And I use some Coffee Monsters sticker seals. These are so cute. My youngest is coveting these sticker seals, so he's got a little special something coming in his stocking. But yeah, so I was creating this and then just watching other people swatch and stuff. And, you know, people do it by color families and they have different, like, you know, books that are removable. Or I don't know. It's kind of nutty. So I feel like I'm lost in swatch line right now. Like, what is the best way to capture all of my collection of fountain pen inks so that I can see at a glance? And I think I probably will. I do really like this book that I created, this pen and ink log, because what I plan to do with it is when I do go out and, you know, my eyes catch wind and I side-eye a bottle or something, I can kind of have this, hopefully. Honestly, chances are I'll probably forget at home, so then I'll have to run off memory. But, you know, the idea of it sounds really great, so let's just run with that. But I would, in theory, have this with me, and I can flip through and see, like, okay, do I have an ink similar to this? Because ideally, I don't want to have inks similar in my collection unless I just love it, I guess. So, anyway, so that's sort of the gist of this little booklet. But anyways, I caught wind of this on Wonder Pen's website, and it's made for pen, like ink swatching as well. It's called the Ink Archiving book, but it also has like pictures that you can kind of paint. So before I kind of dove into the fountain pen world, or the fountain pen ink world, I would say, I was actually using the current fountain pen inks that I had from Ferris Wheel Press because I only had one pen and I only kind of used it here and there because it was a broader nib. And so I prefer typically to write in like finer pens just because I find that my writing doesn't get too like blotchy and stuff. But anyways, I don't even have my book here, but yeah, I was painting with them. So I would just do watercolor with the paints. And of course, the properties are somewhat different than watercolor, but I loved being able to use them in that way. So this was a happy medium. When I came across this, I was like, why did I not know about this sooner? And thankful I know about it now. And anyways, I put myself on the out of stock notification list when I discovered it. And I was like, oh, it's out of stock, of course. And then within a few days, because it's the holidays, so I guess they must be restocking more, or maybe it's just part of their current, you know, roster, their current restock, whatchamacallit, lead times or whatnot. They restocked and I got the notification and I purchased it. So long story short, which has already been really long, I know, this is sort of a little unveiling and reveal of kind of what I got from Wonder Pen. So I also did pick up this muddler. I saw that this little muddler, I actually didn't know how big it was, but this little thing, it's glass. And so I've been looking for sort of a glass dip pen that is decent quality for not too much money. I was using this as a dip pen before, and while great, this is just like a calligraphy pen that I got in a gift, as a gift in a calligraphy, learn how to calligraphy pen set or gift set. And it's great for being able to, try all my inks, because a lot of my fountain pen inks have converters in them. And so I have to use up all the ink before I kind of change it out. So I was looking for a medium where I could use the inks without having to commit to loading up a converter or a bottle. So this little guy and his little cover came off here. A little plastic ASMR for you, if you will. Okay. Anyways, it's not coming out right now. You know what? I'll do this maybe. Let's think on the fly. Let's see if I can jam that in. What an awkward video for you to watch, but hey, it's fine. Okay, it's coming out. Perfect. Okay, so this little guy is about, let's see here. It is about 3 1/4 inches long. I don't know if you can see that, if I'm even holding it appropriately. It comes with a little plastic tip, which I probably will keep unless I lose it or unless my kids play with it and it gets lost in the shuffle somewhere. But overall it's about 3 1/4 inches long. It's fairly like solidly built, I would say. And I like that the muddler part of it actually was expecting to be like a ball, like a bulb. And when I saw this, I was like, you know what? I was just in Cabo recently, well, a month ago now, but they were selling, we went to this like glass blowing business, and they were selling kind of stir sticks with like a round tip at the bottom. And I should have, in my mind, then thought, hey, it would have been so cute anyways to use them as like a swatching tool and also bring back memories of Cabo. But now I can't because we're not in Cabo anymore. Anyways, so this is not a round. It's sort of like a flat, like I don't know if you can see, it's flat on either side. And it sort of has a texture. Oh, I'm not even in the camera, sorry. It has like a texture, and I think maybe it helps it grab the ink. I don't know. Anyways, you can see that's flat. And then this side of it has the tip, and I would say this is like a broad nib. When I went to write with it, it definitely wasn't, I don't explain it because I'm not seasoned in this world. But anyways, it writes broader than I'm used to. So, but it does this little thing, holds quite a bit of ink. Like I can write for quite a bit before I have to like, dip it into my ink again to fill it. Anyway, so it's a good little purchase. The only drawback I think I would have for this is when I am writing, I tend to write fairly closely to the tip. Like when I hold a pen or a pencil or whatnot, I tend to hold it fairly close to the tip. And so this being so short, it just rests like within my like the arch or the fold of my hand. I don't even know what that's called, but so it's great. Like it does the job, but I probably would like to invest in something a bit bigger. And I do have dreams of owning a cocoon. I think it's a Kakuno. Is that what it's called? Like the brass metal or the stainless steel tip with the handles that you put in that you can like, do broad or fine or thin strokes and write with it and swatch with it. That is a dream one day. Okay, so that aside, that is the muddler. This is just a little postcard. I thought it added some color to my setup here. I will say for a long time, I was like, what do I do with these postcards from Wonder Pens? Because I don't know that I'm going to send it to anyone that will actually like be like, oh, cool, postcard. But then I thought about it, I was like, I can use this as like blotter paper, which I don't even know if blotter paper is watercolor type paper, but this paper feels like watercolor paper. So anyways, I'm saving these to use as blotter paper in my journals when I'm writing. And then let's get to the main event here, the ink archiving book. So this is from the Dominant Industry, just like the muddler stick was from as well. And this one is called Log of Elixir. And you can see if I'm holding it in the camera. Let's see, yeah. It's ink archiving, and it's volume 2. So the first volume was actually like a marine, I don't even know, marine type theme, I think, when I sort of got lost in the interwebs. But I have not opened this, and I've only seen what I've seen. So this is the ink archiving book, ink journaling tip letter. So there's a little letter showing you, I guess, what you can do in the book. I'm not sure because it's in a language that I cannot read. And it says, may this little letter become a shining pause in your story of notes. Ah, that's beautiful. Oh, here's the English part. Okay, so ink exploration log, looking for inspirations to fill the page. Here are some suggestions for you to try out. Comparing shades of the inks by color, collection records organized by ink brand, keeping track of pen and ink pairings, and keeping memories of newly purchased and gifted inks. So I will say when it comes to pen and ink pairings, I've been watching some planners or fountain ink enthusiasts, and a lot of them seem to match their ink color to their pen. So I don't do that, but I also only have four fountain pens. Yeah, I have my Lamy Safari, which is my first ever fountain pen, and of course it's white because that's my aesthetic. And then I have gifted to me, I have a Cocoon, oh sorry, it's this one, the Pilot Cocuno. Shout out to Rob at Flourish and Plan, thank you. And then I have also same, shout out to Rob, a Platinum Preppy fountain pen. And I really like these two, actually. I use them quite a bit. This one especially, this is a 03 nib, I don't know. So it's pretty fine. And then this one is an it's an F nib. Oh, sorry, don't even know if that's showing up. An F nib. And then my Lamy Safari is an EF, I believe. No, I'm lying. It's an F nib, but it writes a lot broader. And I remember being told that because of the, I think these are Japanese pens, and so even though they're F nibs, they tend to write finer. And then I did, because I love the Platinum Preppy so much, I was out at Gilded Rabbit a while ago, and I ended up buying another Platinum Preppy because these are fairly good priced entry-level pens. Anyways, and this one I bought was a 02, and it's actually even finer, and I actually prefer this one even more because it's just a finer tip for writing, because I find my writing gets small and it gets tiny, and so it kind of smushes together when the tip is too broad. Anyways, that aside, what I was trying to say is that I don't actually match, like if this is a purple pen, I'm not only putting purple inks in here, for me, it doesn't matter, but I'm also not at the level of enthusiasm and knowledge where maybe that matters to me. So I'm sure one day, maybe like 600 videos in, you're gonna see and you're like, you know what, this is you now. So I don't know. But I love it though. I love have pen envy from all the people that have fancy pens and stuff, but I'm happy with the set that I have so far until I outgrow them. So these are just tips on a few things to note together when you're swatching and logging your inks. The best tools for savoring ink, I guess, for swatching. So there's sheen, separation, chromatography, writing, so it kind of tells you the differences. Super handy for a newbie like me. Muddler, so that would be sort of like this little guy here. Applying ink thickly with a rounded end, or for quickly spreading multiple inks. A brush for adjusting ink concentration by adding water, applying colors to the details with precision. And a deep pen, useful for quickly switching between ink colors while writing or creating artwork. And then here it has tips for blending colors into an illustration, which is sort of similar to, watercolor. So it says light inks and muddler, dark inks and brush. So just a good little tip. So I really like this. That was a good little thing to include. And I love this packaging. Wonder Pens is similar packaging. When this all came in the packaging from Wonder Pens, it had this similar corrugated cardboard, it's not even cardboard, paper that just protects the things really, really well. And I really like it. And actually, because I'm frugal sometimes, I like to repurpose, not frugal, it's fine. I actually save this to reuse because why not? Why be a wasteful? Our society's wasteful enough, I feel like, right? So anyways, here is the book. She is a beaut. All right, so let's open it here. I'm really hoping that the paper quality is good. I literally didn't really do a ton of reviews on it. I just saw it in a video. I was like, that's super cool. I love coloring. I love inks. I love books. This is up my alley. It's my jam. So I just bought it from that point. So I did not look at, flip through reveals or anything like that. So we're doing this together. So it's like a nice like linen kind of cover. Don't know if you can kind of see that. Some rose gold foil, I think it's foiled. Embossing. It's not really embossed, it's sort of just printed on there. So embossing prints, I guess. The spine is also has a similar aesthetic. And then here we get into the book. So the book is a cover page. And then the paper, I would say, feels heavyweight. So this is the ink archiving book, Writing Your Ink Voyage. There's a little like, you know, this belongs to sort of thing. So I would say the papers aren't, the camera's making it look a lot whiter than it actually is, but it's actually more, I'm just gonna pull it away from the light. I would say it has an ivory tone to it, not super, like, you know, this is white, let's say. Here, let me use my Midori. So if that is like a yellowy kind of toned paper, and again, it's looking way whiter in the camera. This is, it's definitely whiter and lighter than the Midori, but it's not full on white. Like if I use my Apika paper, you can see this is white. And this is like in off camera, it's white. It's like a bright white color. But it will do. I'm happy with it. So there's illustrations here. I would say the pages aren't super thick, like, but they're thicker than, I think it said that, it doesn't say in anything here, but I think they are 100 GSM. So pretty decent, I think. We'll see how it holds up to ink. I don't think it'll hold up very well to like big puddles of water and stuff, but most paper types typically don't unless you're using heavyweight watercolor paper. But this is what it looks like. So you can paint in here and you can log your, so like if I was painting this, let's say I can pick 3 colors or 2 colors or whatever, swatch them here, write what the inks are, and use it to color so you can kind of see what it's like. And I just thought this idea was so cute. Like, I love it. I mean, some of the artwork is, it's beautiful, but it's really detailed for painting. Like, probably I just like blob color on there. Because I like to think I'm a good artist, but really I'm just plopping color on paper and seeing what happens for the most part. So this is what it looks like. So it's got a series of, you know, pictures, boxes to swatch your inks. And then back here, there's some bigger pages. I don't really know. Oh, I guess for like if you're doing bigger swatches and you want to paint this in. So I think I need to pick up some fine brushes or something. Actually, I think I have some of those. And then there's a little ribbon in the middle here, so you can use this to like mark where you're at. So it's pretty cool. And then the very back are several pages for logging, I think, all of your ink. So I think I need to write down or kind of plan out how I intend to use this so I'm not swatching haphazardly. But the hard part is, I guess, like for those of you, I don't know how many of you are huge fountain ink enthusiasts where you have a huge collection, but if you do, please share with me, like, how do you manage, you know, when your ink collection, if I'm doing this by color family, so let's say I wanted this page to be reds and then that next page to be oranges, etc. How do you kind of plan for like how many you'll have? Because what if, let's say I have, you know, 6 reds here and I fill it up and I have more reds, but I've used this page now for orange. Do we just let it go and, you know, let that perfection go and just start a new page for red? I don't know. The perfectionist in me runs very deep, so I'm always working against that. But, and as a creative, that's always really hard, I think. But anyway, so this is the book. So I really enjoy it and I can't wait to use it. And I think my next short, I'll maybe do a little time lapse of me using my watercolors to paint one of these pictures. I think that'd be super fun. Anyways, let me know if you have this book, what your thoughts are on it, if you do something similar, or maybe you're artistic and you actually in your journal, you draw something super bougie and then you paint it with your fountain pen inks. If you do that, please tag me and so I can see it, because I would love to see something like that. I definitely do use fountain pen inks in my planners, but I'm definitely not a great drawer. I can mimic, so I can draw things when I'm looking at it and copy it into my planner, but I definitely can't do it from the top of my mind. So I can't just sit there and just draw something and have it look realistic. It probably would look very cartoonish or kiddish, but regardless, it's no reason not to do it and not to try. But anyways, Anyways, yeah, let me know how you, what your thoughts are. If you have any suggestions on like great muddlers or great glass pens that are not too expensive, let me know. My next dream one, like I said, is that brass nib with the handle. It seems to be able to kind of do everything a little bit. So, you know, try not to have too many tools in my belt, because then it becomes overwhelming, right? Then you don't use your tools. So anywho, I hope you have a great day. I hope you enjoyed this video and seeing a little peek through at this new little book that I have. And I will see you again. Thanks so much for watching and being here. Have a great day. Bye.